Unlock the unseen sign you've been waiting for, a sacred message from the universe awaits. I never expected a single dream to change everything, but that fateful night, I slipped into a world I didn't recognize. The stars were brighter, like they were whispering secrets. The air pulsed with energy. I could feel it electric and alive. It beckoned me. My heart raced as I stood at the edge of a vast meadow, the grass shimmering like emeralds under a silver moon. Each blade seemed to vibrate, a chorus joined by the rustling leaves of ancient trees that stood like guardians. A voice, deep and resonant, echoed within me. "You are chosen," it said. I jolted up in my bedroom, a crushing weight on my chest. The dream lingered, an unshakable presence. My mind swirled with doubt. Was it all just a figment? Or was there truth hidden beneath the layers of my subconscious? Daylight spilled through my window, but the shadows from the night before clung to me, heavy and tangible. I couldn't ignore the signs. The mysterious feather I found on my doorstep, the way the crows cawed in a pattern I couldn't quite grasp. Everything felt intertwined. I wandered outside. The trees whispered again, secrets I didn't know. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting dancing patterns on the ground. I followed a trail of wildflowers, each step fueling my curiosity, igniting something deep inside me. What message was waiting to be unveiled? I demanded answers from the universe, but silence answered back. My heart pounded. Had I opened a door that shouldn't have been opened? Was I ready for whatever lay ahead? And as I reached a clearing, I froze. In the center, a dazzling orb of light flickered, pulsating like a heartbeat, beckoning me closer. I wanted to reach out, to touch it, but something held me back. Fear or wisdom? I couldn't determine. A voice whispered again inside me, "What if this is the key?" My mind raced with questions. What was I supposed to do? Why now? What awaited me in this strange crossroads of reality and dream? In that moment, heavy with uncertainty, I realized one truth: maybe the unseen sign wasn't just a simple answer. Maybe it was a challenge. A puzzle. I took a deep breath, my heart teetering on the edge of decision, and as the light flickered out with a sudden intensity, I felt something shift within me. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As I stood in that clearing, the pulse of the orb fading like a heartbeat that had just succumbed to silence, a weighty realization washed over me. The universe had thrust me into a vortex of possibilities, and my journey had only just begun. The meadow, with its undulating colors and whispers, seemingly awaited my next move. Gathering my breath, I turned my gaze away from the vanishing light and scanned my surroundings. That's when I noticed them: small wooden markers, standing at odd intervals, adorned with intricate carvings. Each symbol was foreign yet insistent, drawing me closer with a magnetism I couldn't explain. The closest marker resembled a spiral, and my fingers traced its curves, feeling an intimate connection unfurl as if the wood thrummed under my touch. What truths did these markers hold? My heart fluttered at the thought. Each carving felt like a puzzle piece waiting to be fitted into a larger picture. But what was the picture? I gazed ahead down the path bordered with wildflowers, their vibrant hues a stark contrast to the white noise of my racing mind. With each step, the air became thicker with energy. I could almost hear the heartbeat of the earth, its rhythm aligning with my own. Just ahead, a soft sound emerged, an ethereal melody, laced with the sounds of nature. Following the tune, I rounded another bend, revealing a sacred glade punctuated by a small crystalline pond. The water was still, mirroring the sunlight filtering through the dense foliage. As I approached the pond's edge, I leaned down, drawn by the shimmering surface. The water seemed to pulse with light, reflecting not only the world around it but something deeper of vision waiting to be uncovered. Right there, in its depths, I saw fragments of moments, laughter shared with friends, messages scrawled in a journal, faces of loved ones, and soft-spoken secrets. It was a tapestry of my life unveiled, threaded with joy and sorrow, love and loss. Suddenly, the beautiful melody intensified, and from the depths of the water arose a shimmering figure, a woman woven from light and shadow. Her eyes pierced through me, wise yet playful. "Welcome, seeker," she said, her voice like a gentle breeze, carrying the essence of ages. "You have ventured into the realm of reflection. Here, your heart reveals its truths." Staring in awe, I felt particularly vulnerable yet liberated. "What am I meant to find?" I asked, the tremor in my voice betraying my uncertainty. "The answer lies within," she replied. "You must accept the signs, the whispers of the universe, and discern their meanings, for they are guiding you toward your destiny. But beware, seeker, the path is not linear. It will twist and turn, unveiling layers of your spirit you have yet to comprehend." With each word, I felt something release inside me, like the unfurling of a flower. But confusion crept in alongside my growing understanding. What if I cannot decipher these signs? What if I stray too far from the path? Her luminous form shimmered with a knowing smile. "It is the search that enriches the soul. Trust your instincts. Embrace the questions just as fervently as you desire answers." And just like that, with another ripple across the pond, the figure began to dissolve, fading back into the mystery of the water. "Remember," she echoed softly, "you are chosen, and this journey is yours to navigate." Alone once again, I found myself staring into the stillness of the pond, remnants of her presence dancing at the periphery of my consciousness. As I lost myself in thought, a chill kissed my skin, and the air shimmered. Had I truly spoken to an entity beyond my understanding? Or was it the manifestation of my yearning spirit, a part of me seeking reassurance? I took a moment to breathe deeply and soak in the reverberations of this encounter. I was standing at the intersection of old fears and new understandings. Each stray thought felt like a raindrop tracing down the glass of my mind. Deeper revelations awaited. The signs were all around me, weaving an intricate tapestry of faith, curiosity, and uncertainty. With lingering questions rolling in waves through my mind, I turned back to the trail, more aware than ever that the journey was only just beginning. What other signs awaited discovery? And how would I learn to decipher them as I ventured deeper into the unseen paths? I walked forward, open to the myriad possibilities that lay ahead. As I ventured further down the winding path, flanked by towering trees that seemed to lean in with curiosity, I felt a shift in the atmosphere. The harmony of nature whispered secrets, and the air crackled with anticipation. Each step sent ripples of energy cascading through my being. I was acutely aware of my surroundings, deeply attuned to the rhythm of life pulsating within the forest. The markers continued to beckon me, their intricate carvings now standing out vividly against the backdrop of the green and earthy tones. I brushed my fingers over another, the image of a tree with roots spreading wide, intertwining with the symbols of life itself. It was as if the wood spoke to me in silent words, laying bare the essence of connection and growth. I closed my eyes, allowing a sensory flood of scents, sounds, and sensations to wash over me, an immersion in the sacred. While pondering the significance of the tree, I heard a soft rustle nearby, pulling my attention. With cautious intrigue, I turned to find a creature, half hidden in the underbrush. A fox, sleek and radiant, with fur rippling like sunlight on water, stared at me with intelligence in its eyes. My heart beat faster as it stepped into the clearing, its movements fluid and purposeful. It seemed to embody both the mystique and authenticity of the wild, a reminder that I, too, was part of this intricate dance. As I held its gaze, I felt a rush of energy flow between us, bridging our different worlds. The fox tilted its head, seemingly inviting me to follow. Driven by an inexplicable urge, I stepped forward. It trod a path that diverged from the markers, leading me deeper into the woods, a path untouched by travelers, dense with foliage and veils of velvety moss. With each step, I clung to the subliminal understanding the fox illuminated. Trust. After a winding journey filled with dappled sunlight and fleeting shadows, we arrived at an unexpected opening, a hidden glen alive with vibrant tapestries of wildflowers and a lush carpet of emerald grass. At its center stood a magnificent ancient tree, its trunk twisted and gnarled, stretching toward the heavens as if ready to embrace the sky. I marveled at its majesty, feeling an inherited wisdom radiating from its very core, a serenity bathing me in comfort. That I approached the tree, drawn to its roots, which appeared to sink deep into the earth, wrapping around stones and dirt like a cradle. The ground beneath my feet hummed, and as I knelt to touch its surface, I instinctively understood that this tree was not only alive but a sentinel of secrets, a keeper of knowledge spanning eons. Was this another sign? My heart raced with excitement, the revelation unfolding before me. The fox lingered near the edge of the glen, watching me intently, a silent guardian of this sacred space. As I rested my palm against the tree's bark, a sense of connection blossomed within, a feeling that my own roots were intertwined with all creation, that the pain and joys of my journey echoed within this mighty being. I closed my eyes and listened, surrendering to the pulse of life emanating from the earth, merging with the rhythmic thrum of my heartbeat. In that reverie, images flooded my mind, faces of ancestors whose struggles shaped my spirit, voices of friends who walked beside me, aspirations I had once cradled as dreams. Would they have embraced the path before me, or would they have tread lightly, hesitant of the unknown? With each breath, the answers drifted like leaves caught in the wind, elusive yet compelling. Opening my eyes, I glanced back at the fox. It seemed to understand my reverie, appearing both patient and wise, its ears perked as if to say, "The hunt for understanding continues, but only if you dare to tread the labyrinth of your own heart." Yet, lingering questions weighed heavily in the depths of my soul. What truths would the tree reveal if only I could decipher its ancient language? How would I navigate this intertwining journey, learning to trust the signs as they presented themselves in multifaceted forms? Could I embrace the paradox of doubt, knowing that uncertainties often held the keys to my growth? As dusk began to paint the sky in a tapestry of oranges and purples, I lingered a moment longer, inhaling the sacredness surrounding me. The urge to journey on thrummed within my chest as I rose from my knees, stepping back from the tree, and bidding farewell to the fox, who turned back into the underbrush as if to remind me that nature would always guide me if I dared to follow. I returned to the path, the twilight casting shadows that danced like whispers of the spirit. There was still so much to unravel. What signs awaited me ahead? And would I have the courage to adapt and embrace each twist and turn? With every step forward, I felt the pulse of the earth beneath me, chanting an eternal question: what unseen truth were you yet to unlock on this boundless journey? As I tread further along the path, the forest transformed around me, a kaleidoscope of colors ignited by the fading sunlight. Shadows crept in, wrapping the earth in a cloak of mystery as the sounds of the day gradually yielded to the sounds of the night, a symphony of rustling leaves and distant calls. The air felt charged, alive with the promise of revelation, urging me onward into the embrace of twilight. I walked with purpose, my senses heightened, each breath mingling with the scent of damp earth and blooming night flowers. Just ahead, framed by two ancient oaks, I glimpsed a flicker of movement, a soft glimmer that whispered of something significant. I approached cautiously, my heart rhythm harmonizing with the pulsations of the universe around me. It was there, nestled in a thicket of ferns, that I discovered a small altar made of stones, meticulously arranged, each one glowing faintly in the dimming light. It seemed an offering from the earth itself, a silent call to recognize the sacred within the mundane. My fingertips grazed the cool surface of the stones, and at that moment, I felt an echo of countless prayers and intentions held within them, a collective heartbeat of those who had come before. As I knelt beside the altar, my gaze fell upon various tokens scattered across the stones: feathers, small shells, dried petals. Each object felt imbued with resonance, memories trapped in their forms. I closed my eyes, inviting myself to connect with this energy, inviting these objects to whisper their stories to me. In an instant, fragments of emotions surged forth: hope, loss, love, each a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. Suddenly, a breeze swept through the glen, stirring the leaves and causing the tokens to dance. My eyes fluttered open, startled and awakened in my state of reverie. A low hum vibrated through me, deepening my connection to this mystical place. I felt as though I were standing at the intersection of past and present, a bridge linking those who sought understanding, those who had laid their burdens down in this sacred space. In the midst of my contemplation, the air shimmered in front of me, and from the depths of the amber twilight emerged a being of luminescentia spirit, radiant and ethereal. It hovered just above the altar, casting a soothing light that danced in harmony with the encroaching shadows. I felt a mix of awe and trepidation. It was a presence that seemed to encapsulate wisdom, a guardian of secrets meant for an open heart. Do you seek answers? The spirit's voice resonated within the very marrow of my being, a gentle echo playing on the strings of my soul. The question hung in the air, brimming with urgency. I nodded, though words seemed insufficient to convey the depth of my longings. Many paths intertwine, and not all lead to clarity, it continued, the brilliance pulsating in sync with my awareness. To unlock what lies ahead, you must first confront that which lies within. The truth woven into its words struck me forcefully. It beckoned me to embrace my vulnerabilities, the shadows I averted. Was I ready to delve deeper, to forge an intimacy with my depths? Again, the spirit shimmered, and suddenly, sharp images filled my mind. Lost opportunities, moments of hesitation, encounters that once held promise but slipped away into oblivion. Each scene unfolded like petals of a flower, revealing layers of unclaimed potential. I sensed a yearning to reclaim these pieces, to understand the richness of my journey through every twist of fate. Embrace the unturned stones, the being advised, its radiant glow flickering as if flicking away forgotten doubts. Your growth abides in the unknown. Trust your willingness to discover. Just as my heart began to swell with understanding, the spirit began to dissolve into the tapestry of dusk, leaving behind a lingering warmth, a pulse of encouragement cradled in the air. As its light faded, I found myself alone once more, the altar reflecting the last vestiges of daylight. I gazed up at the night sky, where stars began to twinkle into a vast expanse filled with potential and possibilities. Each step beyond the altar held the weight of the questions that blossomed within me. What would it take to confront my hidden fears? How could I embrace the shadows and transform them into guides rather than barriers? And in this moment of growth, would I dare to unlock the unclaimed potentials resting within my heart? With the ethereal message echoing in my mind, I pressed onward, illuminated not just by the stars above but by a resurrected flame within. As I walked deeper into the night, the whispers of the universe enveloped me, reminding me that the journey was far from over and full of uncharted mysteries waiting to unfold. The woodland deepened around me, its contours shadowy and serene, cradling secrets just beyond reach. The gentle starlight above flickered through the branches like a glimmer of hope, each point a reminder of the infinite vastness stretching beyond my earthly awareness. I felt both small and significant in the same breath, caught in the web of a greater tapestry that wove together the threads of existence. As I ventured further, compelled by a force I could neither name nor resist, the path beneath my feet transformed. Roots snaked out like the fingers of time, grasping at the soil as if asking me to pause, to reflect. I stopped, resting a hand on a particularly gnarled tree that whispered with age and wisdom. The roughness of the bark reminded me of life's trials, and I wondered how much of my journey had been shaped by the moments that left me scarred yet stronger. Beside the tree, I noticed an unexpected Saitan owl perched regally, its amber eyes glowing like lanterns in the dusk. As our gazes met, an understanding passed between us, a silent dialogue unveiling layers of knowing that transcended words. I marveled at its stillness, the way it seemed to observe the world with unwavering clarity. The owl, a creature of intuition, symbolized a deeper awareness waiting to be unearthed within me. In this hushed moment, I recalled the words of the radiant spirit, "Your growth abides in the unknown." What mysteries, I mused, lay hidden within the caverns of my very soul? Reverberating questions emerged, echoing those of my past encounters, those unturned stones. What if concealed within my fears were the keys to unlocking new strengths? What would it mean to face the shadows I had long avoided? Resolute in my contemplation, I began to walk again, each step resonating with the heartbeat of the earth beneath me. The deeper I moved into the night, the more I felt the forest shift as if encouraging me forward, guiding me toward an awakening I could hardly fathom. Moments later, I stumbled upon a small clearing bathed in the silver glow of moonlight. In the center lay a circle of stones, each one aglow not with the same gentle light as the altar, but throbbing with an energy that seemed alive, pulsating in sync with the ethereal vibrations around me. Drawn closer, I felt a pull that was both magnetic and familiar, as though I stood on hallowed ground, a place where the unseen converged with the seen. Gulping down the air thick with anticipation, I stepped into the circle. The instant I crossed the threshold, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The night was no longer silent. Instead, I heard whispers, soft and melodic. They danced around me, coaxing my consciousness to expand beyond the limitations I once imposed on myself. Listen, they seemed to sing, listen to what you have yet to hear. The energy surged within me, awakening memories long buried, moments where I had shunned my potential for fear of inadequacy. I recalled times I had chosen safety over authenticity, wondering at the cost of these decisions. A fog lifted, unveiling a realm of lucid understanding. It was as if the stones themselves were calling me to reclaim the opportunities one had permitted to fade away. As the enchanting symphony enveloped me, an image coalesced in my mind, a vibrant forest, teeming with life. I could see each tree standing tall, blossoms unfolding in a riot of colors, roots intertwining across the soil. It was complexity and connection epitomized, a testament to diversity flourishing within the same divine space. What richness lay dormant within each facet of my being? What gifts had I neglected in an attempt to conform to a world that often favored the ordinary? Could the myriad paths I had brushed aside still illuminate my way forward? These questions gnawed at the edges of my consciousness that I closed my eyes and surrendered to the embrace of the whispers surrounding me, allowing the warmth of reconnection to pour forth. In this sacred moment, I breathed deeply, filling my lungs with possibilities, and allowed the energy coursing through me to awaken dormant truths. Yet, as the quietude began to settle, I felt a pang of uncertainty. Had I merely grazed the surface of a deeper understanding, or was this revelation a sign that the journey toward transformation had only just begun? Emerging from the circle, I looked once more at the silent spiral of stones as doubt spiraled within. What unheeded messages might follow? What unseen signs awaited me just beyond this moment? With the moon a steadfast witness overhead, I stepped back into the shadows of the forest, but now with questions that shimmered like stars urging me forth, whispering that each step held the promise of discovery. The night was alive with potential, and I could feel the pulse of the universe guiding me, unraveling yet another layer of the enigma that resided within me. The shadows ebbed and flowed around me as I wove my way through the underbrush, the echoes of the stone circle still reverberating in my mind. An inner light sparked, igniting curiosity and a craving for deeper truths, but woven within was a sense of tempestuous uncertainty. Each rustle of leaves summoned thoughts spiraling in every direction. What awaited beyond the reach of my tangible experiences? What doors were closing only to reveal others flung wide open? As I followed the winding trail, the air thickened, laden with the scent of damp earth and blooming wildflowers. In the distance, the forest began to hum, a chorus of crickets and frogs creating a symphony that seemed both ancient and contemporary, reflective of the rhythms of life I had long sought to understand. With every step, the world felt vibrantly alive, imbued with an intelligence I could scarcely fathom. My journey led me to the edge of a glimmering brook that crossed my path, its water bubbling with a youthful spirit, dancing over stones it had known for centuries. In that moment, the sound transformed for me, merging seamlessly with my thoughts. I knelt beside it, captivated by the splashes of silver under the moonlit sky. The brook became a mirror, reflecting not just my visage but my essence, stirring me to confront the cascading flow of experiences that shaped my being. What wounds had I allowed to fester in the shadows? What anxieties were tied to the weight of expectations I carried like a heavy cloak? I felt the ripple of the water tugging at those burdens, tempting me to release them into its current. Perhaps, I mused, there was wisdom in the constant movement. The brook was a reminder of fluidity and grace, teaching me that even within disruption, there lay a pathway to renewal. As I reached into the brook, feeling the coolness envelop my fingers, an unexpected vision washed over me. I saw fragmented reflections, moments, accidental encounters, fleeting smiles shared with strangers, laughter echoing among friends, and tears flowing in solitude. Each instance shimmered with significance, illuminating the interconnected tapestry of life. That which seemed trivial now overflowed with meaning, whispering tales of growth and resilience. Suddenly, an unfamiliar sound broke through my reverie, the low, rhythmic thumping of what felt like distant drums. Intrigued, I turned my attention upstream, toward the source. Compelled to uncover this new mystery, I followed the sound, weaving through the foliage with the forest guiding my path. The drumming grew stronger, an invitation resonating within me. Eventually, I stumbled upon a gathering, a circle of people, their faces illuminated by flickering flames. They moved gracefully, dance and rhythm intertwining in a vibrant tapestry of expression. Each beat echoed the heart of the earth, reverberating in my very bones, drawing me closer. I felt a pulse within me synchronized with the rhythms of the earth and those around me. I hesitated at the edge of the circle, watching the joyful abandon of their movements. They seemed to be weaving a narrative of freedom, unshackled from the weight of unfulfilled aspirations. It was a reminder of what true expression looked like, the celebration of raw humanity, an invitation not just to spectate but to participate. The beating of the drums urged me to release my inhibitions, to break free from the narratives I had constructed around fear and self-doubt. Here was a tapestry of souls, vibrant and swirling, calling me to join the dance of existence. I took a hesitant step forward, heart racing as I felt the gaze of the collective shift towards me, an unspoken acknowledgement, urging me to celebrate my own journey. As I ventured into the warmth of their circle, I realized the thumping drums were not simply sounds but the heartbeat of unity, echoing through generations. Each beat resonated with my own rhythm, a reminder that I was not alone in this quest for truth. What threads connected us all? Could the jubilance of this moment represent a deeper understanding of life's purpose beyond the shadows? It dawned on me that perhaps the answers I sought would not be found in the solemn silence of contemplation but in the vibrant expression of life itself. The questions of my insignificance and significance intertwined, forming a fabric woven with humility and courage. With each movement, I began to shed layers of fear and self-doubt as a new energy pulsed through me, an awakening that carried promises of new revelations yet to unfold. Yet, even amid this shared joy, a lingering question remained, brushing against the edges of my heart. What would it take to truly step into the entirety of my being? As the evening progressed and the firelight flickered like starlight above, I danced not just with those around me but with possibility itself, contemplating the mystery still unfurling in my life. Would my awakening guide me to uncharted territories of existence, or would I inch closer to a truth I had long sought yet remained just out of reach? The night held myriad wonders, and I was ready to embrace them all. As the dawn broke over the horizon, a gentle mist hugged the ground, weaving through the trees like a delicate lace. I stood on the periphery of the grove where the night's revelry had unfolded. The echo of laughter and music lingered in my heart, a song only half remembered but entirely cherished. I took a moment to breathe in the crisp morning air, feeling renewed and awake, yet still grappling with an undercurrent of questions that stirred beneath the surface. The forest now appeared transformed in the light of day. Sunbeams splashed through the leaves, painting the ground with hues of gold and green. A sense of possibility enveloped me as I ventured deeper into this familiar yet ever-changing landscape. My feet carried me along the same trail, but the terrain felt different, as if each step on the soft earth connected me more deeply with the fabric of existence. As I walked, I began to notice tiny wonders I had so easily overlooked in the dark, laden spiderwebs, intricately crafted like fine lacework, crickets frozen in morning play, and a chorus of birds rehearsing their melodies for the day ahead. These observations filled me with a sense of sacredness. Each detail, like a note in a symphony, contributed to the beauty of the whole. In my heart, I felt the fleeting nature of existence, amplifying the importance of each moment. Then, from the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of movement. A deer, graceful and serene, emerged from behind a thicket. Our eyes met, and I froze, struck by the depth of understanding reflected in its gaze. It felt as if the creature was a messenger, carrying within it an ancient wisdom that transcended words. Time stood still. I marveled at the stillness of this profound encounter, sensing it was a gift from the universe, an affirmation of my journey and a prompt to look deeper within. The deer, as if sensing my fascination, took a step forward, its breath soft in the crisp air. I steadied myself, recognizing the call to abandon the chaos of my mind. Without thinking, I knelt, grounding myself in the cool earth, allowing the connection to flourish. A soft wind rustled through the underbrush, carrying whispers of the forest, urging me to listen. In that sacred exchange, I felt a wave of intuition wash over me. Could it be that nature, in its boundless grace, sought to reveal not only the beauty outside but also the depths within? Perhaps every creature, every plant, every rustle of leaves was an invitation to explore parts of myself long hidden or forgotten. What if the unseen signs were everywhere, woven into the very essence of being? As the deer took a final lingering glance and melted back into the thicket, I caught a glimpse of a trail of delicate white feathers scattered like stars along my path. There were signs, indeed, breadcrumbs of the universe nudging me along this quest for understanding. I gathered a feather, its softness a reminder of gentleness, trust, and the journey that lay before me. I tucked it carefully into my pocket, feeling its presence anchor my newfound awareness. Each step became a contemplation, and soon my thoughts drifted to the myriad paths I could take. Would I follow where the wind blew, guided by instinct and curiosity? Or would I cling to the familiar, fearing the risks that lay beyond the known? The drumbeats of the previous night echoed in my soul, urging me to embrace uncertainty with open arms. Eventually, I arrived at a towering oak tree, ancient and wise, its roots twisting into the earth like fingers seeking wisdom. I sat beneath its sprawling branches, feeling the energy radiate from its trunk as though it had witnessed centuries of existence, the joys, the sorrows, the cycles of life playing out within its embrace. In this moment of stillness, I felt time dissolving, revealing deeper layers of being waiting to unfurl. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the whispers of the universe, listening for signs, for messages meant solely for me. What were the stories hidden within the roots of this tree? What wisdom lay in the leaves above, stories that called out for me to uncover? As I indulged in this reflection, the question arose unbidden, lingering at the edge of my consciousness: what unseen sign have you been waiting for? This query, insistent yet gentle, nudged at my heart, inviting me to explore the tapestry of connections that stretched beyond my limitations. What truths awaited me beyond the surface? As I contemplated these mysteries, I realized the path ahead would not be linear but multifaceted, revealing intricacies that could guide my quest for answers. With a final look toward the tree, I stood to leave, the weight of the feather in my pocket a reminder of the delicate balance between flight and grounding. Emboldened by this interaction with nature, I ventured forth, ready to heed the mysteries unfolding in my life. Would I discover the sacred messages the universe had woven into the very fabric of my journey, or would I find myself drawn into deeper questions still? The adventure continued to beckon, filled with all the unfathomable possibilities yet to unfold. The path twisted and turned as I navigated deeper into the heart of the forest, my senses heightened, my mind alive with the resonance of the deer's gaze and the feather's softness. Each step was a whisper of promise, each rustle in the underbrush, a potential revelation. The air shimmered with a magic that felt both familiar and foreign, an invitation to delve into the layers of existence that flourished around me. I soon found myself at the edge of a small clearing, where the sunlight poured in like liquid gold, illuminating a cluster of wildflowers. Blues, purples, and yellows danced joyfully among the vivid green. Kneeling down, I admired their vibrant hues, marveling at how each petal carried the weight of its own unique story, yet together they created a harmony that was serenely beautiful. Suddenly, I noticed a flurry of movement. A butterfly, adorned with intricate patterns of black and orange, flitted gracefully from bloom to bloom, tracing the ephemeral nature of its existence through the air. It landed close by, its wings fluttering gently as if inviting me to share in its fleeting dance. Time felt suspended in that moment, a fragile pause allowing me to breathe in the beauty of transformation. What a stunning reminder that life, with all its trials and tribulations, was as transient as the butterfly's wings. I felt an urge to reach out, to capture this essence of metamorphosis within my own heart. Was it possible that I, too, had the power to transform, to shed old layers, and emerge as something entirely new? As I pondered this, a soft voice seemed to brush against my ear, an echo of the forest urging me to interpret the signs in my life with clarity and courage. Each interaction, each observation was an unfolding narrative laden with meanings waiting to be deciphered. I recalled the question that had followed me throughout my journey: what unseen sign have you been waiting for? The answer felt tantalizingly close, as if the forest was a vast library, filled with stories yearning to be read. Feeling drawn to the butterfly once more, I reached out my hand. It landed softly on my fingertips, its tiny feet tickling my skin. I marveled at its fragility, yet also its remarkable tenacity. Would I be able to embrace my own delicate balance of strength and vulnerability? In that moment, I made a silent promise, a pledge to leave behind fear and embrace the unknown. As the butterfly sensed my lingering presence, it took flight, circling around me in an intimate dance. I followed its path with rapt attention, watching as it darted toward the edge of the clearing, hovering just above a cluster of vibrant mushrooms. Curiosity urged me forward, and I stepped closer, my heart racing with the excitement of discovery. The mushrooms, vibrant and varied in color, stood like sentinels guarding secrets of the earth. A small placard, weathered and worn, lay beside them, its inscription faded. With a gentle blow, I lent my breath to the words, revealing snippets of ancient wisdom about the symbiotic relationships formed between mushrooms and their surroundings. They thrived beneath the surface, hidden yet vital, a reminder of the unseen connections that supported life itself. In that moment, clarity washed over me. Just as the mushrooms contributed to the ecosystem without recognition, perhaps there were facets of my own life, connections, feelings, insights lurking beneath the surface, vital yet hidden. What gifts might I have overlooked, woven silently into the fabric of my reality? Feeling a surge of inspiration, I plucked a small mushroom that seemed to glow with an inner light, carefully tucking it alongside the feather in my pocket. It felt like a talisman, a symbol of the unseen realities that demanded my attention. Leaving the clearing, I felt a shift within me, a stirring of anticipation. Each step forward echoed with the question of what signs might arise next in this fascinating journey. Could I, like the butterfly, transform my awareness, and come to trust in the messages the universe sent my way? The trail before me was uncharted, yet tenderly inviting. Each sound of the forest hummed with energy, urging me to remain open, to listen deeply, and to trust the unseen currents guiding my path. The connection to everything pulsed around me, the layers of self, beyond the visible horizon, leading me to understand with growing clarity that the journey itself was the answer to my unfolding mystery. Where would it lead next? What stories and signs awaited upon the horizon that I had yet to encounter? The adventure unfurled like a tapestry, rich with unexplored possibility, daring me to embrace every moment that lay ahead. The questions lingered like a shimmering thread. In this dance of life, how do I reveal the hidden beauty that surrounds me? And how can this journey transform me in ways I have yet to discover? As I ventured deeper into the forest, the path became increasingly mingled with the sounds of unseen creatures. The air was thick with scents of damp earth and blooming wildflowers, wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. I felt anchored by the hum of life swirling in this vast sanctuary. The flutter of the butterfly still lingered in my mind, a gentle reminder of the transformative journey that lay ahead. I meandered through clusters of ferns that towered on either side, their intricate shapes casting curious shadows on the ground. Each shadow seemed to dance, shifting with the breeze, and I allowed myself to ponder how perception shapes our reality. What if I could shift my understanding of the world like those shadows, revealing new dimensions of my experiences? In this rapture of contemplation, I stumbled upon a small brook, its waters glistening like scattered diamonds beneath the soft light. I knelt beside it, mesmerized by the way the water flowed over smooth stones, carving with time a path through the earth. Leaning closer, I cupped my hands and dipped them in the cool, refreshing water. The sensation traveled through me, awakening a sense of renewal. The brook mirrored my ongoing quest, each drop a potential sign, each current a lesson waiting to be embraced. Suddenly, something caught my eye on the bank. A small, round stone with a spiral engraving painted in soft white. Its presence felt profound, almost as if it were deliberately placed there for me to find. As I picked it up, a rush of energy coursed through me, igniting an ancient knowledge that spoke of growth and evolution. Spirals have long been symbols of journeys both inward and outward, and I couldn't help but wonder if this stone held a connection to the very essence of my path. Holding it tightly, I sat back, allowing myself to enter a reflective state. What cycles within me were begging for recognition? What layers of consciousness awaited unearthing? The last delicate threads of doubt whispered that perhaps my fears and questions were part of a spiral too, each loop an opportunity for growth. Was I brave enough to embrace that process? As my thoughts spiraled deeper, a symphony of soft rustling drew my attention. A family of rabbits emerged from a thicket, their ears perked and eyes bright with wonder. They approached me cautiously, seeming to sense my stillness and openness. I observed them, feeling a gentle nudging from within, a silent reminder of the joy that exists in curiosity and innocence. What knowledge might they impart through their very being? In that moment, one of the rabbits, the smallest, ventured closer. It paused just within reach, its nose twitching with inquisitiveness. I could feel a shared connection, a quiet understanding that transcended words. Rabbits are often seen as symbols of intuition and resourcefulness. Did this little creature somehow tap into the wisdom of knowing when to hop forward, and when to retreat? I breathed deeply, allowing the tranquility of the scene to wash over me. The spiral stone lay in my palm, and with it, I felt the weight of my own journey reflected in that tiny creature's world. Was I too, leaping forward into the unknown, perhaps guided by intuition, only to sometimes retreat when challenges loomed? The delicate balance of courage and caution danced through my thoughts, urging me to assess where I stood along that spectrum. The rabbits eventually scampered back into the undergrowth, leaving me alone once again with the brook and the vibrant hum of the forest. It was then that I noticed how the sunlight streamed through the leaves, creating a kaleidoscope of shifting patterns on the forest floor. Such beauty held in the transient nature of light and shadow reminded me of the vital role of perception in shaping one's journey. What if every experience I encountered in the forest was a flicker of light illuminating deeper truths within myself? An encouragement to embrace the ebb and flow of existence, to remain present in each moment and trust the journey ahead. As I stood up, stone secure in my pocket, and heart swirling with questions, I felt ready to move forward. The path was still uncharted, yet the signs I had encountered thus far, the butterfly, the mushrooms, the spiral stone, and the rabbits, whispered to me of unfolding mysteries. Each offered slivers of insight, urging me to remain open and vigilant. With renewed resolve, I took a step down the path, filled with longing to discover whatever signs awaited along the way. The questions echoed on the breeze, a gentle calling: how can I embrace the cycle of transformation that life presents? What gifts of wisdom and insight lie hidden in the delicate balance of courage and caution? And how does trust manifest in the unseen dance of life? In the hours that followed, my feet carried me through thickened undergrowth of the forest, each step resonating with the heartbeat of the world around me. The sun hung low, casting a warm golden hue that bathed the landscape in ethereal light. A tranquil rhythm enveloped me, guiding me deeper into the realm of discovery. With every twist and turn of the path, I felt the unseen signs weaving together like threads of a tapestry, each nuance harboring a profound truth ready to unfold. It was as if the universe had orchestrated this journey, leading me toward an awakening that echoed in harmony with my soul. Suddenly, I found myself overlooking a magnificent waterfall, its cascading waters sparkling like diamonds in the daylight. The beauty of it struck me in a way I had not anticipated, an overwhelming surge of emotion igniting from the depths of my being. I took a moment, standing at the edge, absorbing the wonder of this moment. In the mist that wafted up from the roaring waters, I felt an invitation, a beckoning to immerse myself in the flow of life, to let go of the preconceived notions that limited my growth. With hesitant resolve, I stepped closer, allowing droplets to kiss my skin like blessings from the heavens. In that instant, I understood, this waterfall was not merely a natural wonder but a testament to the power of transformation. The water, relentless and ever-moving, carved its own path through stone, an eternal reminder of resilience and surrender. Life's current would sculpt me too, shaping and reshaping the contours of my spirit as I embraced the journey ahead. I closed my eyes and breathed deeply, surrendering to the wisdom within that wild rush. And then, as I opened my eyes, images flooded my mind. The weight of each moment spent dancing upon the precipice of fear and freedom became clear. The laughter of friends, the interconnectedness shared through simple moments, mirrored the dance of the waters plunging into the unknown. I recognized how each experience, whether joyous or tumultuous, was part of a larger designa sacred narrative leading me back to myself. There were no wrong turns, only lessons waiting to unfold. I stepped back from the waterfall, mind still swirling with revelations, and ventured toward a thicket where I noticed a small circle of stones. Each smooth surface gleamed, almost as if they resonated with the pulse of the earth. Intrigued, I knelt down to examine them, tracing their forms with my fingers. A deep sense of acknowledgement washed over me as realization dawned. These stones marked a convergence point of the unseen. A voice, soft and melodious, brushed against my ear. You sought the signs, and they have led you here to the heart of your truth. I turned, but there was no one. Just the soft flutter of leaves and the gentle movements of the forest enveloping me in a warm embrace. In that moment, I understood the signs were not simply markers on a path, they were reflections of the unfolding journey of my heart, guiding me toward my essence. I was not merely a seeker wandering aimlessly through nature, I was a part of this intricate web of life, and each sign had been a mirror all along, reflecting the spirit of my true self. With clarity and purpose igniting within me, I rose to my feet and turned back toward the waterfall, no longer an overwhelming force beyond my reach but a symbol of possibility, of surrender and discovery, of transformation and trust. In its presence, I felt grounded yet uplifted, a fervent desire embracing me. I was called to embrace the entirety of my being, the shadows and the light, the questions and the answers, for each played an indispensable role in shaping me. The world around me shimmered as I began to dance with the energy of the forest, twirling like the butterfly and feeling empowered like the rabbit. Joy surged within me, radiating outward a remembrance that my journey was as sacred as the trees standing strong and the waters flowing forward. As dusk slipped into twilight, the stars peeked through the canopy of leaves, each a glowing reminder of journeys taken and adventures still to come. I felt a bond with the universe, as if I had finally awakened to the signs that had always been present, waiting for my heart to recognize them. And then, with the night sky as my witness, I whispered into the stillness, I trust the journey, I embrace the unknown, and I welcome the unfolding of my spirit. My heart swelled with gratitude, and in that moment, I truly realized, I was forever connected to the fabric of existence, intertwined with every story and every soul. With a quiet resolve, I took a deep breath and continued on, the path stretching ahead, an invitation to walk boldly into the mystery of life. Each step held the power to reveal deeper truths, to unlock the unseen signs of growth, and to weave wisdom into the story of who I was always destined to be. And as I ventured forth into the embrace of the night, I carried within me the profound knowing that we are not just seekers of truth, but integral threads in the great tapestry of existence, beautifully intertwined with every breath of life. In that moment, I understood the universal truth that guided my journey: we are all the glimpses of light in one another's paths, reflecting and revealing the divine in the simplest of moments, each step bringing us closer to home.